What if I told you that about 15 to 16 million children in the US don't have an internet connection or adequate device for remote learning at home? That's nearly 30% of all K-12 public school students. While doing volunteer research for an Oakland based nonprofit in California, I made some startling discoveries about the state of education. COVID-19 has pushed educational institutes to move from the traditional classroom settings to the online format, causing a cascading effect, especially on students of color, due to systemic inequality and inequity. And the pandemic made it more visible by exposing the inequities in technology access and utilization. I found that students of color could be 6 to 12 months behind compared with 4 to 8 months for white students. While all students are suffering, those who came into the pandemic with fewest academic opportunities are on road to exit with the greatest learning loss. In 2017, about 45% of students who attended high poverty public schools were highest for Black and Hispanic students, in contrast to only 8% for white students. During the pandemic, 31% of Black and Hispanic students had no access to teachers compared to only 8% of white students. Students in high poverty districts also missed an average of 12 days of classroom compared to 8 to 9 days at low poverty schools. According to World Economic Forum, it is estimated that 1.2 billion students around the world in 2020 were out of the classroom, and students of color suffered the most due to the lack of access to the internet and devices to take advantage of new modes of education delivery. These gaps in access to online education and digital services widen the already existing substantial educational inequalities to new heights. Inequities are intolerable injustices with serious social and economic consequences. So what can we do about it? The first solution for the widening inequality and inequity is to create awareness. There is a need for greater investments in school districts with continued comprehensive academic, health, nutrition, emotional support for students through their academic journey, including engagement with parents and communities. We also need to take collective responsibility by partnering with communities of color, nonprofits, and government organizations to solve these gaps with community outreach programs, fundraising, and developing sustainable solutions. Finally, there is also a need for more research and investment in digital infrastructure and digital access improvements that can eliminate these unfair disparities.